Alright, so if some of you are sharp when you read the title of the video, you would think to yourself, how is he gonna manage to turn a SX 144 street legal? I mean, I have the street tires, I have the headlight, I have the ignition that powers the headlight, I even have the gearbox from the street legal model, but that doesn't make it street legal. I still don't have the wiring harness, I don't have a number plate, I don't have a VIN number to register the bike. It needs so many things to be street legal. So the thing is, it would never happen in a million years getting this thing street legal. I mean, if I lived in Italy, then yes, it would be possible. They can register the SX models if they put a plate and lights on. I don't know if indicators are part of that, but another thing I don't have on this bike, indicators, but yeah. So the solution to that is browse Facebook Marketplace, change your location maybe, look at other countries, what's for sale, get a good idea of what if I traveled across a few bridges maybe. And that led me to this right here. Yes, I bought a KTM EXC 125 with the VIN number, with papers, with a plate, everything. This is not how it looked when I bought it. I did a few minor changes. I put on the E-marked silencer so it can go through inspection. I put on a plate holder, plate light, still need to wire it. Indicators, tail light, headlight, speedometer wasn't on when I bought it. Mirrors, very ugly. A horn is hiding in here. And the speed sensor. This thing is basically ready for inspection. I've spent a lot of money getting it ready for inspection. Sadly, the rules here are very strict, so I have to have everything. And the wiring I got with the bike was cut and bad and needed a lot of love. So I thought to myself, you know what? When everything else on this bike is so mint, I'm just gonna buy a brand new set of wires for this bike. So I just bought the OEM set of wiring. I bought some used parts as well. Indicator, turn signal, contacts and all that. The whole unit and the speedometer as well I bought used. I've gotten it all to work now, apart from the high beam, that's what it's called. That's the only thing I need to work now. And I need to mount the horn, and I need to get some longer wires and pull them inside the airbox because the connector is in here for the number plate light. So that's literally all I need before I can go through inspection. That was the explanation of how I'm gonna transform this bike from being just a supermoto converted SX motocross bike and make it street legal with the registered plated papers EXC 125. I hope you'll enjoy the huge transformation this bike will go through. I mean, I've already been through it all with this one, but yeah, let's go once again. It also means I'm gonna be able to make a full 100% assembly video of all the parts laid out on the floor and then just picking everything up and just putting it on the bike one after one. I'm very stoked to make that video. It's gonna be so satisfying, so sick. Stay tuned for some more quality content. Alright, so the clips you just saw were from very recently, like a week or two ago I filmed these clips, so they're a bit further along the build than the clips you last saw from where we ended off the last video. In the last video we ended off with putting on the graphics and there was no engine in the bike, the seat cover was different. I'll show you all of those parts throughout this video, so keep on watching. The full engine rebuild, first thing, some ups and some downs, and yeah, stay tuned. I am just about ready to start assembling the engine with the new bearings and all the new parts. I just got the last bearing out and the last seal from the shifter, the outer shift bearing I would call it. I got that out and I have 3 brand new HK 1412 bearings that I'm gonna be installing. Then I just got a message that the rest of the bearings and all the seals and stuff got delivered today, so we can basically start doing most of the stuff with the bike. I have to deep clean the cylinder, start doing the power valve. These are the only bearings I have right now. I have to go get the package with the rest, but I'm gonna put all of these in now. Then we are just about ready for the rest of the build. So here's the last piece of the puzzle, last package. As you can see, pretty full. I ordered new wool for the silencer, slave cylinder rebuild kit for the clutch, a transmission bearing kit, a head seal for the fork, and a head for the fork, dust head for the bearings, steering head cover they call it. These 2 bearings for the water pump and the power valve. These 4 bolts for the fork, the triple clamp, a new chain, because the one I had on just looked like it had rode very long time. New crank bearings and seals, brand new piston, double ring piston, full gasket and seal kit for the bottom and top end, and a new rear sprocket with 48 tooth. So that's it for the engine parts. I ordered a crank rod and new rod bearings and stuff, and I have to get that changed, get the new rod put on. Yeah, that's the next step, and then we're gonna get the engine done. So yeah, stay tuned. I already started a little bit. I showed you I got one of the 14-12 bearings in for the shift shaft. Now I just got the water pump and power valve bearings in. Next up, the rest of the bearings, another 14-12 bearing here, and the gearbox bearings, the transmission bearings need to have going in here, and of course the crank bearings. I'm gonna put all the main bearings in the freezer so they're ready for when I assemble the rest of the motor, when I have the crank done. I want to assemble the whole motor when I have the crank done so I can just plop it all in place. That's the plan. I'm gonna keep you updated. Okay, that was a bit more chaotic than anticipated, but we got it on with the dust seal and the cap. Now the front end is done, torqued down to spec, everything as it should be. Now I just need the bar pad back on, and we're golden. The silencer is back off the bike. The new wool is ready to get packed inside. So now I'm gonna disassemble it again, cut the wool to size. There we go, got it closed up again. New wool, it's gonna be sick. Let's get it on the bike again and continue with the rest. Alright, it's time for the bearings for the KTM. I've had these in the freezer for about 3-4 days, I think. These are the crank bearings and transmission bearings. I'm changing all the bearings. Let's start off with the crank, heat up the cases, and we'll plop them in, see if they don't drop straight in. So yeah. The first casing is done now. The transmission bearings are done on this side. The crank bearing and seal, of course. I've done the seal and crank bearing on the other case as well. I just need these two bearings. Dropping the crank and the gearbox in is the next step. So I'll have to wait for the crank to get done. The new connecting rod. Then we'll have to assemble the rest of the clutch cover with the power valve parts and the water pump and stuff. I redid the seals and all the broken components in the water pump a few days ago. So this one is good. You can see the mill is cracked on the old one. Let's get the last two bearings in and get on with this build. I also have a new bearing for the shift drum. Let's get this one out. Let's get this changed. Just about got all the prep work done. Power valve is complete again and the water pump is assembled. The clutch slave is also rebuilt. I think I have everything now other than the clip in the gear drum. I still need a new shifter because this one's the old one and I never powdered it or anything, but yeah. I'll update you when I get back the rest of the parts. I just got the last components to finish the engine build. I got the crank rebuilt with a new hot rods connecting rod and new bearings and stuff. Now I need the new bearing and I'm gonna heat it up and put it on the crank. So yeah, let's do that. And that's how you install the inner race for the main bearing on any two-stroke KTM. No need to freeze anything down, just heat the inner race up. There goes the crank, slipped right in. Now we're gonna try and put the gearbox in. I assembled this gearbox myself. It came in a box, just like, or in a bag, just like every piece was apart. So let's hope I followed the diagram correctly. So let's put it in. I'm gonna put these two case halves together now. The gasket, I put some grease on it so it will stick to the cases, and when I split the cases again sometime, it's not gonna stick to the blocks. Got the crank in. It was being a bit of a bitch, but I fixed it. I'm gonna start working on the gearbox, the rest of the transmission, and the ignition, of course. I can't wait to see if that actually works. I really hope. I have the old one, of course. I don't know if that one works either, because I've never tested it. This bike has never ran while being in my hands, so I'm very excited for this. That's the process so far. I'm now gonna check the ring gap for the new piston. Should be about 0.4 millimeters on these 144s. I'm gonna check the rings and see if that is correct. I'm running a double ring piston from ProX. So now I'm gonna check to see if everything is in spec. Should be. Whew, I haven't filmed that much of the last assembly of the motor because it got very stressful. A lot of inconveniences got in between. I have it all fixed now, I hope. Still need to see if it starts. It has good compression, of course. Ring gap is set to 0.42. The ignition works as well. I checked that. Let's hope all the seals work. The new water pump seals and everything like that. Let's plug it in the bike. This bike is looking so good right now. All the powdered parts. I mean, of course, there are some parts I could have done. I could have completely disassembled the rear shock and Cerakoted half of it. And the swing arm, of course, but I'm gonna get to that at some point. It just looks so good right now. Now I just need to bleed the clutch and the front brake. Pretty much the last stuff right now. But I'm gonna bleed the clutch and then I'm gonna do a test run, I think. From here, it seemed like everything was going smoothly according to plan, other than the carburetor pissing out fuel. That felt like a small issue and easy fix. Something else came up, and I really was not expecting it. My 0-hour piston with only a few heat cycles had given up all of a sudden. A few days in a row I had been down in the shop, and every time I was there I would just start it up real quick, give it a few heat cycles. No issues at all other than the carburetor. That was the only issue that I had. No odd sounds, no odd feelings, the compression was fine. One day when I came down there, the bike started up with a bit of an issue. It felt flooded. The cylinder was crunching away. It sounded like someone had poured down a handful of sand into the intake, and I just didn't know what was up. I took the pipe off and looked inside, and sure enough, my 0-hour piston was cooked. Fresh rebuild had to get taken apart again to find out what the issue was. We are back after the unfortunate events of the motor just giving up after full assembly. I am still not sure what the problem was. One of the main bearings, the crank bearings, was dead. Brand new bearing was toast. I don't know if it was just the bearing that fucked the whole motor or what it was, but power valve as well. Damage here. This is minor. This is getting major, and this is pretty major. One of the 6 rollers was bad. I kept 5 of the rollers. I'm gonna check them all because I ordered 2 more rollers, so I have 1 more. If one of them is like kind of bad, I'm just gonna throw it out. Sent my cylinder out to get new nickel plating. Ordered a few parts. New plate, crankshaft, bearing, and seals kit. These will be going in the freezer. Master cylinder rebuild kit for the clutch master. And the carburetor was shot as well. So we're gonna rebuild the carburetor as well. Last but not least, the new piston. Even though the last one was brand new as well. You live and you learn. So yeah, I just ordered a seat cover for this thing as well. It's a Nithrone seat cover. Ordered it from Bold Designs to make it fit the graphics. Here is without the graphics. Here is the graphic piece. It's been laying in a box for a while, so it has a little dent here. Let's see how this mounts. Just wiped it down with some brake clean. Let's see how it looks before and after. There you go. Now it's on there. A few air bubbles here and there, but turned out pretty good. Very easy to lay on when it's just a flat surface here. Let's see it compared. Yeah, I still think the headlight looks better, but now I have both options. So yeah. As you can see, literally fully compressing it, air bubbles coming out, nothing going through the system here. So something in the piston area is clogged. So yeah, it makes sense to rebuild it now. Yeah, let's see what the issue is here. But nothing's coming out. Nothing came out when I took the hose off. So yeah. Here we have it fully disassembled. Let's look at these parts side by side. Used one and a brand new one. Now I just cleaned the inside of this with brake clean all the way through. We'll start assembling this clutch master here. So I took the new seal from the new piston and switched to the old piston before it was leaking out from here. Let's hope it works. That was the clutch. Now I'm gonna move on to the carburetor. I just finished the carb, like 90% I need. The one bolt in the slide, that's literally all. I rebuilt everything, did a leak down test of the carb on the, I just put it on the bike and opened the fuel for like a minute or two before it would overspill, because this one you can see it's permanently closed. This pin should have like a spring underneath it that makes it go back up when it's pressured down. That got stuck. So therefore the float bowl won't affect anything for the fuel fill up. So it won't close the fuel fill, so it will overflow the car. That's what the issue was before. That's about it. Alright, finally got my cylinder back from replating. The only thing that was left, but I've already mounted the piston and I put a bag over it. It's ready to just plop on. I'm gonna take off the tank and the seat and all that to make it easier. Let's have a look at it and we'll assemble it with the parts. I bought a new arm. Let's get it unpacked and look at it. Here we have it. Bores are looking very nice. The cross hatching and everything, and the ports are looking nice as well. I'm gonna need to clean it a bit. Usually you just take a clean rag or clean paper, spray WD-40 inside, and then keep on rubbing on the cylinder walls until no dirt comes on the rag. That means the cylinder is fully clean and ready to install. Then you of course put a bit of oil in, assemble it on the piston. Let's get cleaning. I got the inside cleaned up with some WD-40. I'm gonna clean off all the power valve parts because they've been laying on the table for a while. Clean them all off and assemble all of this. So now I've got all the linkage in here bolted up fully. It is opening all the way and it is closing all the way on both sides and the center as well. Alright, got the cylinder all looped up, cleaned up and assembled. Everything's looped up and connected as it should, and I've cleaned up around here to make sure piston is looking mint, crispy. Got the piston in the cylinder and the cylinder on with the gaskets. Everything's looking so clean. And now I'll mount the head, and then when that's mounted, I'll remount the coolant hoses. So yeah.